Hi guys, welcome back to Surviving Infidelity. Today's story is titled, My Girlfriend Cheated on Me with Her Ex-Boyfriend, Got Pregnant and Made Me Believe the Child Was Mine. That is a crazy story title already. Before we get into the video, want to remind you of the Patreon channel once again. In the description, if you want to check it out. There's more exclusive content over there. If you want to check it out, you can check it out, but we'll get straight into the video. I, 25 male, got cheated on by my 22 female old girlfriend with her ex-boyfriend, and she made me believe the baby she was carrying was mine. There's a lot of events that precede to said event of me being made believe I was going to be a father. Okay. I met this girl about a year and a half ago. The relationship kicked off nicely. She was a nice girl, at least I thought, and she was very pretty as well. Our relationship was smooth sailing in the beginning, although we had issues here and there, like any other couple. She was staying about 30 to 40 minutes from my place. I'm already a young professional who has already finished school and kick-starting his career. She was in the course of completing her studies in a local university in the same town. So this meant she was staying at a student accommodation / resident, as they call it. You'll remember how that setting is during our college life when students would do all sorts of nasty things to each other when they were all under the same roof. I did not have a problem with this as she would visit me regularly. Almost every week / weekends most of the time. Things took a turn for the worse when the visits started becoming less frequent, and she would always claim she is busy or whatever silly excuse she had at the time. I didn't want to be selfish and have her all the time to myself with the little time she has to herself, considering she was a student and most of her time outside of school she would spend with me. That was my mistake. The visits became less frequent, and this bothered me as time went by because I had suspicions she was starting to spend time with somebody else. However, I didn't think too much into it as I thought, oh no, she's an innocent girl and would never, for whatever reason, do such a thing to me, given how good our relationship was. Wrong. I later discovered that she had been secretly meeting up with one of her ex-boyfriends, who goes to the same college as her. How I found out would have to be another Reddit story. I confronted her about it and she had no choice but to admit it as I presented her with an overwhelming amount of evidence proving the fact. If there's one thing I've learned from these videos, it's always have evidence. At this point, I also found out that they have slept together and I just wanted to know why. Why did she betray my trust like that? And what led her to the said incident, as I'd been nothing but good to her. She insisted she was in a bad space and needed someone to talk to, and one thing led to another and she said she was sorry. She told me she would understand if I can't forgive her for this action, as she is fully aware how wrong of her that was, and she would understand if I want nothing to do with her. I should have listened. I should have listened to her then, because what is about to follow in a series of events that led to her making me believe the child she was carrying was mine. Obviously you had a lot of trust in her, even after the fact of her cheating. You had that trust and you must have loved her enough to not go with what she even said, you know. We talked things out and she apologized, and I had fully forgiven her for this as she was sincere and sorry about what she did. Fast forward to 3 months later, we find out she's pregnant. Surprise! At this time, she had told me that she had cut all communication from her ex-boyfriend and they weren't in contact in any way. I later discovered that she told him about the pregnancy. However, did not tell him that she was actually in a relationship and there is a potential father of this child, as she already knew what she had done. I confronted her about this and she confessed that she contacted him, yes, but her reasons were that she wanted him to back off so that she can continue living her life with me, who is the father of her child and partner. I gave her the benefit of the doubt, even though we know what's going to happen, like from the title and all that. Hopefully this will be a good lesson learned to sometimes you just can't trust people, even no matter how much you love them, how much you trust them. Sometimes you just can't. You never know what they're actually thinking, all that kind of stuff. I will now fast forward to when the baby was born. So we're doing big time jumps now. So this is like over a while of time. I went to visit them soon, weeks after she went to labor. I spent time with them and everything was nice. Hold on, before I keep reading, he said he confronted her, so that's what made me there. Okay. I would have been very sus. I think also the fact that we've been reading stuff about paternity test and that lately, I would have probably wanted that just because. But he obviously has the trust. in her and like, you know, gave her the benefit of the doubt. I spent time with them and everything was nice. We were happy that we were having a baby, and I was super excited of the idea that I am now a father. It's always worse when that happens. There was conversations preceding her going into labour between us pertaining the paternity of the baby, and I explicitly asked her, is there by any chance I am not the father of this baby? She reassured me that I am the father, and I should not be worried about me not fathering the child. So yeah, she obviously has manipulated him to think this, because there we go, we got more information that he did ask her about this, but she was very sure of it, even though I reckon she isn't. Also, I was not about to question a heavily pregnant woman about the paternity of what could potentially be our baby. That made me feel horrible, and I stopped questioning her about this. Yeah, I get that, I understand, but also this is like your future now. Like, if this isn't your baby, if it is, it really depends on what your future's going to be. Coming back to when the baby was born, 2 months after the baby was born, I later discovered that she had again rekindled her relationship with the said ex-boyfriend, and she was bringing the child to see him behind my back. Oh my god. Mind you, this guy does not know that there is already an existing father for this baby. Oh, so she was playing both of y'all. Oh my god. At this point, I catch her out in the act and her whole lie is unrevealed. We fight over this and I request the DNA test done so we can finish this and rule out any uncertainty. Yeah, definitely. We continue to be a couple and raise the baby together. However, I told her that it was only fair for the other alleged father to also contribute towards the maintenance of the child. Yeah. Until all the facts are on the table, as I had been the one supporting them throughout their pregnancy and postpartum. This happens for a period of about 2 months before the DNA test is done. That's valid too. Like, realistically, he didn't know if it was his child. Earlier this year, the results came out saying I am not the father of his child. I am distraught to say the least. I am disappointed in myself for putting so much trust in one person who did nothing but break it, and my heart into pieces. Oh. And you've already spent so much time with the baby, like that would it just makes it worse. I've since kicked them out of my place with her child and told them they can go live their happy lives with their newly found family. To be honest, this hurts me so much. I don't go a day without thinking about them. I can imagine you would have had a bond with this child. 2 months is like enough time to bond with this child, and you really did believe it was yours for a long time during the pregnancy and after the baby was born, you know, so that's just horrible. It's actually really, really horrible. I've already formed a solid bond with what was to be my child. There it is. I need to stop talking before I read, because sometimes I say something and then literally the next sentence will be about what I just said. Not to mention my said ex-girlfriend. Yeah. All the life I knew and was preparing myself for is all gone now. I am miserable AF. Oh, that's a really sad one, honestly, today. There's not much I can really say about this. He knows what happened. He knows he put too much trust in someone, but how are you meant to not trust someone when there's some people that are just very trusting, and even though she had done dirty, she obviously played the cards right and got him to stay around until he basically caught her in the act. Well, he did catch her in the act. It's sad. It's horrible that this happens to people. Like, his whole future is different now to what he had perceived it to be, you know? Anyways, that's it for today's video. Let me know what you thought about the story in the comments, and yeah, I already said what I thought about this. It's not much to say because, like I said, he already is quite self-aware of what I would just say anyways, about this whole thing. Put too much trust in someone, he knows that, and I guess it's a lesson learned to not trust people as easily. Unfortunately, you can't trust people in this world as much anymore, which is just sad. But before we go, just want to remind you once again of the Patreon channel in the description. If you want to check it out. And yeah, don't forget to subscribe and like, and I'll see you in another video, guys. Bye.